Hello and welcome to Midwest Weekly, the show starring myself, Hair Wiz, and my co-host CLT, and we are back at it again here in 2026 with a new season. I think season 5. Quote me if I'm wrong. I might be. But nothing else matters because this split is turning out to be a great one thus far, and we're only 1 week in, and I am so excited to talk about these games and to talk about the week we had, and I'm so excited to be back with my friend, my brother CLT. How are you feeling?
I'm doing pretty good, bro. I mean, it was an exciting week one, and I'm super happy to get back to talking about some games in this Midwest server because they were some bangers.
Absolutely. So why don't we get started with that? Here we're gonna kick off here, as you see here on the schedule on the left here for week one. We are gonna start with the Insane Banana Posse series versus the Vancouver Impact Challenger series, which had Insane Banana Posse winning. If you're wondering how we determined this on the schedule, as you can see, green means they won the game. So simple. I know it's crazy, right, guys? Sometimes people can make things so complicated. Not calling anybody out, Rusty. Just kidding. But
Oh
yes.
damn!
Hopefully
It's
he
week one,
watches.
bro. Calm down.
I'm coming at it. I got the energy. I'm feeling good. So yeah, let's get into this game one here. So this is gonna be new guys. We don't have the battle fight no more. So everything's gonna be off of the screenshots here. But yeah, game one. This was the one of the only series, actually the only series I didn't catch or cast. So this is gonna be kind of us um, going in a little bit without much information. Sorry guys, but it's what happened. CLT unfortunately got booted that day. Riot was no go. So yeah, what is the things that stick out to you? Because I already see one thing. 16, 7, and 5 Olaf from Noob.
So, uh, so I I'll remind you and remind our viewers that Insane Banana, they're going to live and die by the insane part of their name. They are swapping roles every single week, and this week, Noob played bot lane, the support went mid, War was jungle. Like they do a lot of crazy stuff. And this was no different. They started the season off with a bang. So yes, this is a bot lane Olaf with Soraka lane, and I did not catch every single part of this game, but I know there was a lot of fighting, a lot of kills traded. I mean, we have 9 kills by 6.5 minutes, and that's just what little I caught on this game, and it just continued to just go from there. So the Olaf, once he got ahead, went absolutely just complete man mode. Um, if you watch that Viking show on streaming service, that's basically what this was. But I will say Smudge for VIP had himself a very, very excellent 19-4 and 6 score line on the Oriana and played it very well. He was a pain in the ass to deal with for this comp because they're not the heaviest ranged comp, obviously with no AD carry. But once the Vagar got to the late game, his cages meant more, and he was putting out a lot of damage.
Yeah, absolutely. And I want to jump into one other thing, where as I'm showing off the game here a bit, but we saw that smudge here on this Oriana one. I think 19, 5, and 6. Double check that real quick. No, 19, 4, and 6. Gave him an extra death there. Yeah, absolutely going off. I think Oriana is one of those champions that was huge this week, and we're going to talk more about her as we get through more of these games and series. But in this one, they unfortunately lost with the Oriana pick, but I don't think there was any fault to Smudge. Obviously, had himself a fantastic game. That might be close to the record of the most kills ever in this current iteration of Sweat League, which I call the modern era. Probably about 2023 to now would be like the most modern uh, setup of what we have. So it's pretty bonkers. Um, I don't really know what they could do here to really stop the Olaf though. I will say like he has a really nice setup. He can keep his alt going because of people like Jinzao, Braum, and Fiora pretty easily. Uh, but the fact that it worked bot lane is the most insane part. Like this guy plays at 80 carry and ends up just completely popping off on it. Might be the funniest thing I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, and the madness didn't stop for game two either.
Yeah, and we're gonna jump into game two in a second here, but I'm kind of scroll through just a little bit, kind of see for the viewers to see a little bit what happened. I know none of us like we said got to really watch the game. Um,
Why is there 43 kills at 19 minutes in this game?
oh,
What
oh
the?
God. Well, I'm looking at a little skirmish here at 12 minutes. Nothing's really happening. I think they're walking away.
I just clicked ahead and face palmed.
19 minutes, you said? So I should get to 19 minutes?
19 minutes. 19 minutes. It was 21 to 23 or something like that. I just clicked away from it, but Jesus Christ,
21 to 21 at 18 minutes and 42 seconds. What is
guys, this is not ARAM.
So there were some good League of Legends played this week. I don't think this game was it.
You know what it was? Is this was like a pseudo ARAM comp where both teams were happy with it, and Soraka got the wee woo bonus. Is what's going on here. So,
This was a video game, guys. That's what I gotta say. It was a video game.
oh my
um,
lord! I just watched a 22 and a half Soraka ult gives Flame Dog back half his health, and he just walks away from
jeez,
three people.
jeez
Like,
Louise.
just
Yeah. The gold lead was pretty stable at this point. I'm sure because the kills are still even. Let's scroll a little further through. Let's see if we can find anything meaningful in this game. All right, here we go. 24 minute. Looks like we're setting up for a Drake fight. Maybe
oh,
this will come to something. Darius was dead to start it. Flame Dog wasn't even here, so they're trying to contest. I don't know if you can do that. Walking in might be a mistake. Yeah, it looks like that's what's gonna happen. Poor Nautilus is gonna be the sacrificial lamb.
as war normally does.
Yes, as you know what that is. But I think what's interesting, it's things like this, like because the game is so close and so tight, and yes, like Drake Soul, literally, like gold by even. Um, Drake Soul is obviously going to be pretty impactful, but oh my god, nice Ori ulti. Just Oriana popping off, bro. Hold on, let me watch the rest of this clip. I think Olaf's about to go off after the Oriana goes off. Oh my god, no, no. Okay, he doesn't kill them all. I was gonna say, Jesus. Okay. Anyways, a game like
This
this because
is
it's so close and the Drakes are probably the most important thing to like give a team advantages. Um, I do think that that's really what would break a game like this with the back and forth. So the fact you're on soul point, the other goal's even, that doesn't really matter. And the other part is like when if people get to escape, like if you just get one kill and then the other four members just you know gently just walk away in a game like this, that's actually not even a bad thing in a crazy game. So I don't know, man. It's hard to break down a game like this. There's not much for it. But let me see if I can get to either a soul fight or a Baron fight or any of that, and then we're gonna go to
30,
game two.
33 minutes is like the ending sequence.
Okay, well,
If
okay. Well, here's the soul fight. So this is gonna be 29 minutes and 45 seconds around ish. It's actually not a soul fight because wait a second, two are already dead. Never mind. They killed them beforehand. I should scroll back a little bit, but you guys are gonna watch the show for the first time and be like, "This is what you guys are giving us." Bunch of just meandering over what happened in the game. Yes, yes, that's it. Because we don't know. All right, I will go to the ending fight then, and we're gonna go to game two.
I mean, you don't want me to talk about this whole game because you thought I didn't shut up already. Like, come on, this is crazy. By the way, Soraka, Olaf, Darius with Ocean Soul. Like,
Oh yeah,
I
that's
don't
kind of
care how much
unfair.
healing you got.
Wait, so I
You
didn't
think?
realize, but that fight I was watching, I think War stole the Drake. I didn't even notice that this whole time, by the way. That very first one where I finally clicked over trying to find something that happened and that Orialty afterwards. I think he stole it. I could go back and double check, but I think that's what happened because they had three Drakes to one, and I'm like, wait a second, I'm looking. Like, yeah, they secure it. So that really, honestly, I think I just showed the turning point of the game because that makes a big difference. If he's able to steal that Drake there, give them a shot at winning the game by getting Soul. And that's going to put them in a spot to do so. And obviously, like you just said, Darius Olaf Soraka with Ocean Soul seems pretty ridiculous.
It's broken.
Yeah. But yeah, like I said, I do want to highlight Smudge performance on this Ori and losing effort. It's still pretty insane. Um, and of course, it's the classic: I pop off in the game and I die one time, my team loses play. That's what I think's about to happen. Um,
Yep.
as Darius is running him down. Peekaboo's like, I'm here, I'll
Yeah.
save you, but I have an axe, says Darius, and now you're dead. Oh my
Yeah.
goodness. Flame Dog, stop it, dude.
This is
Stop it. You're eight.
yeah.
You were 6, 9, and 5. Are you about to be like positive KDA because of this? All right.
Yeah.
Jeez. All right. On to
It's
game
just
two. I'm not
not
gonna keep
fair.
talking about this
Yeah.
ridiculous game. Please tell me game two isn't
Oh
as
wait.
ridiculous. What?
No, I'm not.
Oh, something happened in this. Oh, they just walk out in the next. I thought you were talking about this game. All right, game two. Doesn't look as ridiculous, but does look still ridiculous. There's a lot of kills in another 34-minute game. What's that like? How many kills? Like 70, almost
uh,
68 or something. If my
I don't.
math math's still
This is insane banana. When you play their game, you win stupid prizes.
Yeah. So Noob, once again, this guy is the MVP of the series if there is one. 15, 6, and 4. On the other side, Silent Shroud having himself a nice Varus game, going 17, 5, and 7. We just talked about Varus on stream. This was pre-nerfs, by the way. Still found a way to lose on apparently the most broken champion in the game at the time. Interesting. So I guess he's not that prio. But I guess he went against the actual broken champion in the game. That's Gwen, who's been getting tons of bans in the league. So whoop de doo. Also, good job, War. 15 deaths isn't too bad.
I
I gotta meme
yeah.
this.
I got
I'm memeing this whole series. This is the funniest thing ever, man.
yeah.
All right, so give me your take on the game a little bit, huh, bud?
I'm gonna try again. I tried to cast this game, but I think this was the learning curve of allowing spectators in a lobby since we kind of changed up how we're doing a few things this split. But yeah, overall this again was a fairly bloody game. You've got Noob on another top laner. He's playing bot lane. The Crackler though on the Karma, he's not much of a medic bot as say the Soraka from the original game. But
Yeah,
the thing that was really really great for Insane Banana was Thresh all day on the Seraphine. This is a pick that I know he plays it a lot support. Don't know the experience he has on it mid, but his ults on this champion are pretty game changing. And what I did catch, he played a pivotal part, especially going the circlet to try and improve the healing and kind of help with Crackler on being more of a utility bot for his two melee carries in Flame Dog and Noob.
yeah.
But it looks like kind of scrolling through this game, like I said, didn't get a chance to catch it that much. I'm seeing two dragons and over a kill a minute for the VIP squad, but I'm also now just seeing two shutdowns given over to them. So it's I kind of want to catch where the hell this comeback started.
All right, so you're saying scroll to find two drakes because apparently there's a lead there. Okay, I'll find that.
I
But
mean, at 18 and a half minutes, it's a 5,000 gold lead, two Drakes, and 20 to 7 on kills in
uh,
favor of VIP.
well, I will tell you part of that early lead is definitely being able to punish the Amumu. I showed a clip earlier of the Amumu kind of getting caught out. Um, I I think it's interesting, and we've seen Amumu pop up, and we're gonna see him again this week. No spoiler there. If you just came back from watching the series that me and CLT casted, which was the um, Incarnate versus Femboy series, it's funny enough. Yes, we're recording right after that. Um, then you'll know Amumu popped up again. I don't particularly think it's a really strong jungler right now, but it is interesting that it can struggle and still win games right now. That's something that's really interesting. Another thing I'm noting is I'm noticing set into Mbessa. It seems to be the thing that like people are like set into Mbessa. I don't know if this was a counter pick here, but I know it was a counter pick today. Um, so is that maybe like the new Mbessa like counter or at least
Mm,
favorable matchup?
I think it's just much easier to pull off to where like Renekton sometimes, if Mbessa gets the early lead, then she can brawl and Renekton becomes a little more useless. But
That can
Um,
make sense. I mean, she
yeah,
outscales a
actually,
lot of top laners. Like she's very, very strong overall. So, but Set kind of doesn't care about that.
okay, noob. 27 and a half minutes. You're going to watch Gwen do Gwen things.
Okay. I love a nice serving ulti. 27 and a half minutes. I got to the 18-minute mark that you were talking about. I'm seeing that gold lead now. I really wasn't there.
I was just skimming through because I'm just sitting here like, how did VIP lose with this game state? And
Oh yeah,
then
they got Baron at 23 minutes. Like, but they're down
oh
three
yeah,
Drakes. See, that's the big thing. They're. Oh no, they're up three Drakes. I'm sorry, never mind. That's not the big thing. I'm retarded. Don't listen to me. Um. No, but they have three Drakes. Like, yeah, how do you lose this game? They got Soul. They got they got
yeah.
Soul. They're up 31 to 10. Okay, all right. So you said 27 minutes. I'm almost there.
27 and a half minutes was kind of a big turnaround. um,
Okay,
and what I would probably argue is my play of the week, maybe? Question mark.
maybe. I mean, there's a lot of plays, buddy, but yeah, it's possible.
There was.
Well,
Yeah, we're gonna talk about a
is it a play that starts with War running it down?
no, no. Shockingly enough, it doesn't.
'Cause that's the one I just saw at 27 and a half minutes. I just saw him die in a Mumu.
Wait.
Should I go
You're
further
gonna see
back?
some 27. I got a game time. 27 and a half minutes.
Okay, Noob is playing. Noob gets a shutdown. Noob gets another kill. Noob is killing everybody. Okay, so Noob is just a god.
Yeah.
Why is Noob playing Gwen AD carry and Olaf AD carry and winning games? Somebody get this guy out of my game. What the hell? Um,
Well, he'll be in your game, just not at that role.
yeah, indeed, indeed.
So,
That was. It
he-
seems like he's a top laner though, based on his champ picks. So,
I believe he is. Yes. So,
wow, yeah,
but
that does start it. Gwen getting some gold, that's gonna definitely help it out a bit, but that doesn't get you automatically back into the game.
yeah, it gets Gwen back in the game. Now you have a win condition. But seeing a big team fight here at 30 minutes. War initiate with the best of Mumu ult I've ever seen.
Okay, I'm at 30
Um,
minutes. I'm waiting for it.
yeah. Okay, how the hell did they still win from this game state? What the? Oh, okay, never mind. I caught the rest of this fight now.
Meanwhile, I'm sneezing my brains out. It's crazy. Y'all don't hear it, but it's happening.
Oh, okay. That team fight was the Flame Dog show. Got it. So you're going to go to about 30 minutes and 20 seconds, and it's going to be a fairly lengthy fight
Yeah,
there.
you're talking about after war. He caught the entirety of New Mexico in his ult.
He was clearing minions, bro.
I think Texas. I think Texas finally lost all its snow.
We love you, War, by the way.
Oh yeah, that was a really nice set. Oh, that was beautiful. Did they
Yeah.
walk? Did they walk it down in the game? They don't. Okay, the game doesn't end off that. But yeah, that's big. Elder is up, so they're gonna look for an Elder here. And Silver or Silent Shroud, I was called the Silver Shroud, trying to make something happen, but just gets slowed up. They're gonna collect Elder, and they're gonna then find Smudge in the side lane trying to mess around on this Victor. Unfortunately, he's not allowed to do so. He gets shut down there. They're gonna take the Baron. Can Peekaboo get in there? Peekaboo does get in there. Oh my God, Flame Dog, you are the MVP. I lied. It's not about Noob. It's all about you. Wow. Now that's a really
Yeah.
nice set all to get him out of the pit. So, all
The
right.
team and the teams with the less dragons you have, the quicker you burn the Elder Drake. By the way, something that
Interesting.
not a lot of people know. Yep.
So that is why that's the true win condition back. Actually, that was a
Yeah.
really nice war initiate engage. Unfortunately, he just dies another turret. But when they still have Elder Drake, and it ends up going off threshold, he gets the kill on Smudge. That actually probably is why they end up winning this game. Because if Smudge lives and gets his reset off, I think there's a lot of wave clear, and they can stop the Baron push. But now you're Ashe, Varus, which Varus wave clear isn't horrible, but it's Ashe support. Yeah, that's it. Wow, that's crazy. What a comeback. This definitely has to be this has to be one of the best comebacks we've ever seen. I mean, you're down a significant amount of gold, 5, 6, 7, 8K, whatever it was, and then a soul. Like it's 31 kills to 20, I think, when the comeback starts to come to fruition. So well played by Insane Banana Posse, getting their first couple weeks victories here, and we'll go ahead and we're going to be jumping into the next series, which is going to be Small Brain No Mechanics versus Notorious Thieving Raccoons. So let me go ahead and pull that up here for you guys. In a second, I will have it all good and ready to go. What am I clicking on? I don't know. It's going to be a little slower with me getting this stuff done. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I do apologize. Nothing I'm trying to do on purpose. All right. So, Small Brain Mechanics versus the Raccoons. Well, funny enough, I was in this game. If people don't know, I'm Hairwiz. That's me, as I said. Yeah. So this game one was a very fun first game. Stanley's actually a former teammate of mine. He was on our team about 3 splits ago. Played mid lane for us when Zemo was on vacation. Um, he was in the Bahamas. Don't worry about him. Uh, but yeah, it was a fun split. We did not make it all the way, unfortunately, but we did make playoffs. Stanley's always will be on goat. So we got our week one matchup. He's got his team together. They're a bunch of guys who used to play together, so they're kind of getting back into form, and I think we kind of see that in this first series against us, and definitely this first game. I think Stanley was the early bright spot um, on the Kog'Maw with Dionysus not playing too bad on this Akali, able to pick up some shutdowns here and there. But once we were able to get a lead, um, we kind of never looked back and controlled the pace of the game pretty well. But I really want to highlight Vic. I think Vic had one hell of a game. He double killed topside pretty early on in the game, and that really set the tone for the match. So big props to him on that. What do you kind of see? What you're looking at here, CLD?
So I did not catch like that much of this series, but what I did catch, Staney definitely looked like he was pretty informed, pretty sharp on this Kog'Maw. When I first caught like the middle of this game, the biggest question mark for me was this Zyra. I really wasn't like a great big fan of this. I thought you had one job and that's protect the Kog'Maw. But yeah, I think you're kind of nailed it to where these guys are probably still trying to get everything not necessarily situated, but they're trying to just get sharp and ready for some coordinated play to where you guys kind of clicked on all cylinders. You had a really good week one game overall. I think giving Vic Casante is kind of crazy. Um, for those that have like followed him and the league and the server, he typically is drawing
Yeah,
Casante bans.
I
The
want to
Fizz for Zema
I
was
want
a
to
was a
highlight
unique
something.
look.
3 minutes and 45 seconds. This play by Stanley was actually really really good. I even said it in the middle of the game as it happened, like, oh Stanley, that was so clean. Like I said it out loud to the teammates. Like it was a really nice play. He predicted that I was gonna flash W there and got his slow off on me to ensure that he got the double kill. Yes, he died, but like that could have been pretty big, getting Kog'Maw 2 kills early. Unfortunately for him, he had to deal with a Fizz, Jinzao, and a Leona, not considering even Casante in the game, jumping on him, and he didn't really have the peel he truly needed. Like yeah, like you said, the Zyra, like how would it work out? Well, it's really only great into something like Sivir. It doesn't I don't think any of us really care about it on the other side. So
I don't.
I would have loved to see something like a Lulu or a Yumi or Seraphine or Nami or whatever. I don't remember all that we banned, but there's so many other enchanters out there that would have been looking great with him.
Renata.
Yes,
I
Renata.
thought Renata was like baller for this game.
Yeah, Renata actually would have popped off. There's really no way we can all dodge the alts, unfortunately.
Yeah,
But yeah, that was something
but
that definitely was a highlight there for Staney. Um, but like I said, really the tone setter was the the top play, which I will scroll to real quick to highlight Mr. Vic, um, and then kind of get through the rest of this. When did it happen? I know it happened. Was it at level 6? It might have been at his level 6. He's level 8 right there. Yeah, it is. So at about 6.5 minutes, they try to gank him. He goes all out. I think the only way you're ever killing him there is if you're using, number one, all of your CC to try to CC chain him, and two, not being two tanks, just kind of beating on him. So I'm not sure why Penguin Jack never used his Curse of the Sad Mummy. I'm not really sure. I didn't realize that was never used in that skirmish, but it makes a little more sense why he was able to get a double. But that was a nice little play from him. Other than that, like I said, was pretty controlled. I didn't miss any smites. Importantly, I didn't mess that up.
Nice.
There's some long history there. There is a funny clip. You want to see a funny clip? I'll show you a funny clip. Go to
Okay.
21 minutes. Okay, well, actually, 21 minutes is the big fight, the team fight. If you want to see the big team fight, that got us the Baron. But it's gonna be right after we get Baron, I think. Or no, we don't even go Baron. We get the kills and we just run straight down. So there's where the funny clips at. It's right after that team fight, like 21.5 minutes. Vic tries to flash on Akali. We don't catch her, and I do think if we kill her there, we might have an end angle. But we're all just like diving this Akali, and poor Mono's got like no HP, so he just gets popped by the ult. Then Zemma's calling help, help, help. Nobody can help him. I'm for some reason taking turret still. I don't even know why. And then I decided to try to make a play here with Vic because he goes back in, and we basically all just int. This is like I don't know. We're having fun. I was like, I can kill. I can do it, guys. No, I can't. I'm
Yeah.
dead.
Cue up the circus music for this one.
That was a classic funny clip.
This is a week one special, is what we're gonna call it.
Yeah, I think some teams were showing some rust here and there. Other than that, after that though, we kind of slowed it down. We snagged the Baron, kind of had a split map with the Baron. We're able to break the bot inhibitor and the mid inhibitor while Zemo was taking care of top, and then we kind of just ran at their faces. And unfortunately, we had too much gold and Chemtech Soul, so there wasn't much they were gonna do. With that said, though, we can jump into game two, I think. So game two here, we go with a jump on their faces comp. J4 and Bessa Seraphine. Fid getting to play an Enchanter, something you don't see a lot of from him, CLT.
Yeah.
And then you had a lot to say about this Anivia. I'm gonna definitely let you say some things about Anivia pick. And before you do that, again, Staney, I thought he played really, really well. He chased my butt down a couple times. We were laughing about it after the game. There was a ring around the rosy play we had. And then Nunu. That was not, I mean, he was on his match but I didn't think they'd actually pick it. And they did pick it. And it didn't look horrible, but I don't think it was great. So I would say there are Nunu games. I don't think this was one of them.
Eh, I within their comp, I can understand the Nunu pick, especially the ult provides like really decent slow and setup for MF ult. It does like play into the wombo combo a little bit. The Anivia pick, I'm not too keen on Anivia in the Rise. I think it's the Rise's matchup to kind of like basically lose. Especially early. Level 6 Electrocute Anivia can outdamage the Rise a little bit, but by the end of the game, it just kind of becomes who's doing more damage in team fights, and I feel like Rise can kite around more. He has more access to
I
CDR, so
thought
it's not that
that was a
it's not that
counter. I thought Nivea countered
it
Rise.
Anivia does counter Rise, and in lane she can definitely be the aggressor, but also Rise has no issues like once he's behind, basically playing the wave clear game, especially early. Level 6 with the wall and the ult, you can zone away Rise a little bit, but it's just like you can't really like truly stop the Rise's scaling. And he just has a better late game than Anivia. It is like an old excuse me, it is an old school counter, but I just don't think it's like the absolute like, oh my god, there's no way Rise can play this game type of counter.
Yeah,
That I think everybody kind of keys in on that a little bit. But I thought the Anivia just in this game never got off the ground. Zenma was able to be the benefactor of a couple of kills early, and the Rise just got snowballing here. Also, Anivia wall with Nunu and Scion, uh, it's that becomes very very hard to play because it feels like at some point you're stopping at least either the snowball or the Scion ult at least once or twice. So it's a I don't know. It's some anti synergy there a little bit.
makes
But
sense.
Stanley had a really good score line here.
Yeah, he had a good storyline too. Let me tell you, revenge tour, baby.
Oh yeah. Hmm.
Um, can we not talk about the solo kill though? Because I thought that was so funny. The Nivea killing Zema under the turret. I gotta find it for you.
Oh yeah. I mean, 1v2s are hard to win when you're in early game Rise. So
Where's the clip? Do you know where the clip is?
yeah. I mean, um, I'm skimming for it. You asked me too quickly. I actually kind of low key forgot about it until I started talking about the game. I was like,
Yeah.
oh yeah,
I,
Zema did die to the turret.
okay. Where does it happen? That's the real question. Is his first death? That death?
we're, we're just both looking here to just flame your boy.
Yeah. Oh, I think it happens here. Oh, it does. About 13 minutes.
Yeah, yeah, I see it. Uh,
Zema, Zema, Zema.
Wait,
Get an Nivea.
what did he say after that? Come on, you got to leak that.
He said, oh, I didn't know Egg was gonna respond this quick. He's like, oh, I'm dead here, by the way. Like, oh, okay.
I mean, he had egg when he ghosted Adam. He doesn't know about the wings above the level.
No, he doesn't. He
That's
doesn't.
funny.
Yeah.
By the way, can we talk about he's slinging spells, but he doesn't proc the crystals on the turret to get a little extra damage off.
Yeah, true. What a troll. I did want to highlight one other thing. I thought Fid and Mono played really, really well bot lane. Even though yes, Danny like played well in the game, like I didn't think it was by any means because bot lane giving him a gold. It was the rest of our team getting him a gold. Those two were playing extremely, extremely well and winning bot lane pretty hard early on. But I mean, they did have a couple plays where they died, but I mean, it is Fid and Mono. They like to die once in a while.
Hmm.
Also, there was a nice public
Yeah.
execution at 14 minutes and 15 seconds. I just thought it looked good. He dodged the Cyan ulti with it.
That's we seen a couple Mbessa R's use the dodge some abilities earlier today. So
Yeah, indeed.
yeah.
But with that said, I'll scroll to the end of the game real quick, get on out of here. Um, and I do want to say, like, I thought that they played pretty well, especially in game two. They actually were finding nice little micro plays. I think it was this game where they were like sending it on Zema mid lane a bunch with the Scion and Nunu rolling down the mid lane at his ass, and he died a couple times to that. I thought they were really smart macro plays when Scion had the move. Um, so they had a plan. I don't think it was a bad plan. Maybe just like instead of picking Milio, pick something else that could set up with this MF. Might have made all the difference. That's really my only like full takeaway on the comp. I guess like I don't like the Nunu here. I get your point though. It does kind of work well with Anivia, so there's some synergy there. Um, but and when I say synergy, I'm not referring to her walling his ball, but I'm more saying like if he locks someone down, she just can drop her ult right on top of that his ult and just they just burn, they just die. So
Yeah.
there's some nice stuff there. But yeah, the game was a bit back and forth. I think we got triple inhibitors. Around that around like 24 minutes or so, and then just kind of walked into their base and said, our pocketbooks are big. Let's fight it out." And caught them out, and were able to get the win. So nice week one. Glad to be back. And last thing I'll say as I'm getting out and closing out these tabs to go to the next game is that I missed this, man. I miss playing with the boys. It was that split off sucked, so I'm glad to be back.
Mm.
All right. So the next series we're going to jump into, guys, which I think is one of the better series of the week. You know, really getting us into some good games. We got Stunned Gaming Mythos, 2-0ing Hidden Leaf, but it was a good series. Like it definitely did not disappoint. Uh, I know you weren't around for this series, to which you definitely missed out on a banger.
Yeah, I
Um,
did not get the chance to catch really any of the series, but I heard it was a good one.
yeah, no, it was extremely good. So first off, going into game one here, we had another fantastic Oriana game. Like I said, shows up a lot. Astros and Arthedius were kind of trading back a lot as mid laners, kind of styling and making plays, and it kind of felt like it was going to come down to one of them pulling off the monster play. I think Astros had a couple more than Arthedius this game, but it was a very close matchup between those two. I think Akaza played really well on the Kazakhs, but unfortunately, you are playing Kazakhs. There is some dependencies there. On the other side of the two teams, I think Seko had a decent Wukong game, being able to set up his team, keep his team relatively safe, and or engaging into the back line onto this Varus or Ari. And Guma, he was Gumaing on the map. This guy might be Gumayushi in the flesh in NA. But no, he played really well here on the
Mm.
Inara as well.
Yeah, this this looks like just a really well-rounded comp here from Mythos here, and the Hidden Leaf comp is kind of difficult to play.
Yeah, no, that's why I kind of said he was Kazakhs because of that reason. Like this is not an easy setup for him.
Yeah.
I mean, you really need you need really good CC when you're playing champions like Kazakhs. Like these high damage junglers. And though Charm is not bad, and of course Change of Corruption is pretty good. Uh, Pre six, it's like if you don't land the Charm, your gank mid is not going to be as successful. Top lane is probably your best bet because the CC is the most guaranteed with the Q knock up. Um, but I think some hard CC would have really benefited this comp if they're going to go for the Kazakhs. And I don't think Poppy is that because she needs a situational setup with like walls, stuns, and such. Um, there was a nice angle with the Poppy though because I think she's great for disengage, which makes me lean more towards like just not drafting Kazakhs then, and drafting something different, maybe something more frontliney. But we know Akaza is known to put on his carry pants. He is the former MVP, so I've got no issue with him pulling this Kazakhs out and trying to be the guy for the team. Um, but yeah, it's definitely not an easy comp to play. I guess I'm gonna continue talking. CLT, I need your help. I'm dying over here. Just kidding, guys. Um,
Bro, it's almost midnight my time, and I gotta work.
I know, I
I'm
know,
dying too.
I know. We're both dying. No, guys, I'm just memeing
Yeah.
because me and CLT were talking about before we got into the show. He's like, "Hey, I didn't get to watch most of these games, so you got this right." And I'm like, "Yeah." Then I'm remembering like if there's dead air time, it's my fault. So I gotta keep going.
No. I mean, I'm skimming through this game, and it definitely looked like a really competitive, almost like a brawl fest. Um, yeah, definitely looked like Gojo had his way. This Rumble top had a rough going. Um, you're looking at just kind of this early game, but the two early dragons for Mythos helped stabilize the game. Gold's roughly even here at around the 14-minute mark, which is where feats of strength would have been last season. So I still use it as kind of like a pseudo indicator.
Yeah, I mean,
And
there was a decent amount of trading back. I think the problem with Hidden Leaf in this game was they were able to generate themselves a nice gold lead early, which I think their comp needs. Like if you look at the kills here, it's 5-2 kills at 8 minutes. There's a kill on every single one of their champions, who actually all can benefit from getting kills. So everybody has advantages. Um, if you look at Arthurius, he actually had a really nice solo kill early, where Oriana was trying to like play under the turret for like a plate or something. I got punished because I already cleared the wave and landed a nice charm onto her, and she took like two turret shots. So there's stuff like that, but then they just started getting like caught in these weird like spots to where like if you go back as Hidden Leaf and look at this, you go, man, if we just chilled a little bit with this small gold lead we generated, we could have turned this into another 1,000 gold in about 6-7 minutes from this point, maybe even more. Instead, the gold lead starts to even out, like you said, and by 14 minutes, we've got ourselves an even game, but one team has two Drakes and one team doesn't.
yeah,
And I think
I mean
that's
that
what the series
was
came down to, too, is Drakes.
yeah. I mean that's kind of what Hidden Leaf was kind of known for last split. I know they changed their names, but it's still the same lineup, I believe. And so I know they were trying to put in some work, especially in the mid game. Because they always found themselves clawing back into games quite a bit. So the fact that they were able to brawl early, they're all talented players for sure. But it just kind of the more I'm looking at these team fights as I'm skimming through this game, it comes down to kind of what I said earlier. It's just an ease of execution. Rakan goes in or Wu goes in, Oriana ball on one of them, you go with it, and then that just kind of starts your fight.
Yeah. And I'm actually going to give you the points that I think were the big moments. And I'm for this game specifically, we're gonna start here. Let me find it real quick for you because they had gotten Baron. So let me find the fight where they get the Baron. Oh my God, that Oriana ult. I forgot all about that, bro. Go to 22 minutes. Actually, 21 minutes and like 45 seconds. That Oriana ult was so disgusting. I went crazy on stream. That was disgusting as hell.
21 minutes. What was that? 45.
Like 21:45. Yeah. You're
All
gonna be
right.
like, wow. You talk about play of the week. That might be it right there.
Oh, this was clipped on the Twitch page when I went to start up the stream today, and I watched this. Yeah, this Oriole is fucking insane.
Yeah, it's absolutely correct.
Oh, yeah, that was cracked by Astos. Ast,
Astros, yeah.
Ast, Astros. Sorry.
Okay, so Elder Drake spawns. All right, so there's 28 minutes and 26. They don't have a Baron. I couldn't remember exactly what was going on. The gold lead is even. They have a Mountain Soul, which Mountain Soul is not impossible to play into here for the side of. It's not Fanboy Jellyfish, by the way. This was a mistake on stream. Just for anybody wondering, when they open this up, this was Hidden Leaf. But yeah, Hidden Leaf had a decent position. Like I could even pause this. I'm gonna pause this, okay, for all the viewers to see because I was talking about it on stream. They had opportunities, and I think when you look at this, you clear that control ward. Here, one you have just jump on the Oriana is an option, and be charging up the Poppy ult immediately out of vision, so that way you can immediately knock people out of the play. And you can even see the Wukong. I would even argue throwing Chains of Corruption on him right there, and you just make this play. So this is more for the viewers to see. I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but uh, what I'm talking about. But they have the setup now. They clear the control ward, so now the setup's even better, right? They have this river. Don't give up the position. You cannot give up the position. Aura gets pushed out. Why aren't we charging Poppy ulti? Why aren't we looking at a play to completely knock them out of the play? And then because they completely give up this position, they're now forced to walk into their vision when they have this Mountain Drake. They have a nice setup, and Arthurius unfortunately gets completely pushed out, forces out Spirit Rush, and now it's like, how do you play? Pretty much at that point. And Seko makes a great engage to just chop down the carries, and that's pretty much your game. And so this situation, I want you to remember this situation, CLT, for next game. Okay. But that's what it
Okay.
is. You see that, right? There's a play there can be made. You can at least try something. If it doesn't work, you look back and go, well, it didn't work, but I don't think it was because of the play we called. There was probably something else you look at. Maybe Mountain Soul was the difference. But I'm like, dude, that's your best bet because you don't want a 5v5. I agree there. So make it a 4v5. Make it a 3v5. Separate the team because Kazakhs had the most beautiful angle for a pick. But yeah, so for me, that was pretty much what turned the game, and then eventually, they aced them at the Elder fight, which I can show real quick. Well, they pretty much aced them. I think Varus lived, but everybody else died. If they're able to somehow get this Elder, of course, that could help them win the game. But I think they always needed this Elder Drake or some sort of crazy pick to have a chance, just because the front to back of Mythos is so strong. Well, Varus gets chased down. Yeah, Astros comes to get him. Freaking Astros, man. This guy in Oriana's not fair. So yeah, that's gonna be your game one. Now game two, we're gonna jump into here. Boom, boom, boom. Here we go. Pull up the image here. So game two. First off, I'm gonna say something about Nidalee. I don't ever like Nidalee. Said it on stream, and I will not. Actually, let me rephrase that. I do like Nidalee. Nidalee is only truly good if you're like the greatest Nidalee on the planet. And Seko, you're not a bad Nidalee. What I watched was not bad. So if you watch this and you're like, dude, shut up. It's not like that. You can win on champions in drafts, even if the champion's not a good pick. Two things can be true, man. You know? Uh, the same conversation when I talked about Higgins and some of his champion things. Like, it's never about, like, I think you're a bad player. I think you can't play Nidalee. I don't think the pick is great. I think it's very difficult to pull off. If you're the best Nidalee in the world, it's still very difficult to pull off. You guys did pull it off, but I think you did pull it off more because there was some hidden leaf drafting issues that counterpicked themselves, and because your team was popping off with those counterpicks. So Aurelion Zahn got Renekton, and Gojo decided to lock in the Mordekaiser, which is not great for Mordekaiser. Until Mordekaiser maybe gets to his like late game or gets a big lead, he just never really can do much against him. That's what we saw in the game. And then we had the Sivir and the Thresh. Well, Alistar historically is pretty good into Thresh, and he is actually fantastic into Sivir. My favorite counter pick into Sivir makes her life unplayable. I had Arprise going, oh, now I understand what you're talking about this pick. Yes, it is not fun. Akaza, Volibear pick though, fantastic. Way more useful than Italy. If you watch the game, you'll understand. Like he was doing so much work. There was fights where he's like 1v4 and getting double kills. If the team just isn't behind or isn't counterpicking themselves or whatever, like if they just have a better team comp, they be able to just win this game flat out. Okay, so we'll now jump into the game. If you have anything you want to say about any of what I said, feel free, CLT.
I don't disagree. Um, I think Renekton loves the Mordekaiser matchup. I'm 100% on board with Nidalee. I'm typically against Nidalee in 90% of the game states. I just don't think she offers much. Um, Even if you play Nidalee correctly, it normally takes the other team to just flop into her for her to have a good game. So
Yeah, and I mean there were some bright spots. I think Seko played the Nidalee well. It's not like I don't think Seko wasn't playing well. I, I just it reminds me of Smolder like a couple splits ago when Smolder was in the most dog crap spot it could be in. He was horrible, and yet people kept picking him, and he kept looking dog crap and losing games. Like he was like 0-8 or 0-9 before he finally got a win. It's stuff like that where if the champion's just not either good in pro play slash competitive play right now, or just that good of a pick, why are we like giving ourselves a lower chance to win the game? Is basically how I look at it. If you win, that's great. that just means either just straight up better players or there's another reason for it. And I think here it's just the draft diff on the other side where they counterpick themselves. Um, but like that's all I really got to say about it. So I'm not really hating on Seko. Seko is great. What I've seen from him, he's a freaking really good jungler. His Wukong was absolutely clean as hell, and his spear accuracy is really good. So I want to clarify that if he watches the show, I don't want him to think I'm attacking him. Please don't think that, because sometimes players think that, and I'm not doing that. With that said, as far as the game goes, the early game wasn't as strong for Hidden Leaf. They got punished a lot, and a lot of that had to do with Arexion, this Alistar, just being an absolute menace in the bot lane, and then Aurelion Zahn getting the better of the Mordekaiser matchup. So he solo killed him a couple times. Nidalee came up, helped get some more kills. I thought Astros was playing pretty well in this Aurora as well. There were some trading there with Arthurius, but once he got a big lead or like a meaningful gold lead on Arthurius, it was just impossible for him to play the lane. But Akaza, like I said, he was the one player where it's like this guy might be able to carry this game, and he was really close to doing so. I don't know where all the clips are, but you could find clips of him just being an absolute menace.
I mean, that's what won him the MVP last split. Is he's not afraid to fight, and he's very aggressive.
Yeah, I really need to find like this mid. There's a mid play where he's just walking everybody down, and I found it kind of funny because you see like Nidalee like Nidalee right there basically doing nothing. Uh, I just wish I knew where it was. But there was some factors of why like I thought it was hard here. One is like they find like these little picks on like maybe like Alistar, right? But like really, it's not a pick unless he has no unbreakable will, and they all would all in him a couple separate times where it's like you're all inning him with unbreakable will. He's super tanky. You're not gonna one shot him. Like stop hitting him. Let the alt fall off, and then look for a re-engage. Like don't burn too much on him. You hit a death sentence, maybe a Volibear Q, and then probably just walk away once he pops his alt. So there's some of that, and then of course when you're down three Drakes, that affects a lot. So that's gonna bring me to the reversal of this of what happened last game. It's mirrored now. Um, I gotta find the Baron first, because I think when I find the Baron, it's the play. They definitely stall it out because they actually have a fight here. If you want to go to this fight first, it's at about 25 minutes. I'm going a little far back from it, but um, about 25 minutes. They have a little bit of a fight. Uh, After people had respawned, Nidalee's already dead. She's still coming back from the previous fight, so is Corki. And Aurelion Dawn was huge on this Renekton. He was 7-1-3. So he feels like, all right, I could just do what I want. He's got backup coming in with Astros and Rexy on the Alistar. It looks to be okay initially for them in a 3v4, but once Volibear starts to do his work and then Gojo actually gets off a nice Mordekaiser ult to separate the Aurora and steal her AP, it's just kind of impossible to play. And then they're able to secure this Drake and stall the game out a bit, which was obviously pretty big. Um, Seko wasn't able to steal, and then another thing was Toju landing some really nice hooks as well. Like I thought he was playing extremely well bot lane. They were punishing Guma a little bit early on in the game, but that's more because Rexy was leaving him alone. So I forgot to mention that. So those hooks were kind of popping off a bit. So there's this little fight, and then sometime after they're gonna get Baron off of a fight, which I think it's this one. Okay, I think 27.5 minutes or so, maybe 28 minutes. Oh yeah, dude, the 80 carries were trading a lot too. I forgot. Like
Yeah.
Goot was doing so much damage, but so was Sivir. Maki was like, "Yo, where's the play? I'm trying to find a man, guys. I'm sorry, my memory on like these
27
games
and a
are
half was like a 1v1 duel between the 80
yeah,
carries.
it wasn't that. Okay. So it is,
Jeez Louise.
I know, 28 minutes. This actually might be the clip that I was talking about too, where Volibear is just Volibearing and Italy's like, "Hi, I'm here." Like Psycho ends up killing the Mordekaiser, but like, look at how useful this Italy is. Like, okay, I'm running away. Like that's the usefulness. You can't do anything. Um, that's why I don't love the pick. It just walks them down and they get a couple more kills, and then they finally get a Baron. So we're like, all right, so maybe they're gonna turn this game back. Maybe this is their opportunity. They get this Baron, and then right afterwards, the crime happens again. Yes, Drake is gonna spawn. It is a Heztech soul. You don't want to give it if you don't have to. That is obvious. But why are we stepping up without when the wave's not even there yet? Push the wave first. Gojo gets poked, then Maki gets extremely poked on the Sivir. Now you're on the retreat because of that, and the fight just goes awry from there. I was just like so sad watching it because they had the Baron, they had the setup they needed to pull them away from the soul, and instead they don't wait for the wave. They face check early, and that's why I said it's a complete opposite of what we saw in the previous clip. So like one team was was disciplined in both situations, and one team wasn't. So Hidden Leaf had opportunities, man. But this is why I thought this series was great because it could have went either way. If Hidden Leaf plays this slightly better and makes the right decision, they could have swept them. But they made both of the wrong decisions in these moments, in these key moments, and unfortunately they were the team that lost in the end. But it was a good loss in my opinion because it's something you can certainly clean up and learn from.
Yeah, it is only just week 1, so it's a fairly long regular season.
Yeah.
So it's something to look back at and just clean up on.
Yeah, and it was crazy because even after they got the Hezdeck Soul, they still are having a hard time closing out the game. And that's just because like this Volibear was an absolute menace. Once again, like Akaza doing tons of work, but unfortunately they try to contest the Baron. It looks good at first, but you're hitting this Alistar, and it's like 36 minutes. You're hitting this Alistar. He's not gonna die, man. Like even when you do finally kill him, it obviously doesn't matter. And they kind of slow bleed, and they get chased down the rest of the standing members, and that's kind of your game-ending fight. So that'll be it though for this series, and we're halfway through. Have these videos uploaded CLT,
Let me double check.
and can you add them to the thing while I am going into these next games? I'll pull up the links real quick.
Um, they are still being exported, so
All right. Well, that's unfortunate.
yeah, it does take them a couple of hours to export. That's why I typically do it overnight, but this is a rare time where we are recording.
Yeah. Well, I can go to the Twitch. It's all good. That
I'm
is.
heading that way as well.
So I will pause this and go. Well, I don't need to pause this. Just go straight to the Twitch. Okay. I don't know why I did the this way. You guys are gonna laugh at me. Videos.
First week, we'll clean it up.
This happened 4 hours ago. We're gonna go with the one that happened yesterday first. So, yes. So we're jumping
Yep.
into Scorch versus Map Mapo Go Coalition. Mapo Go Coalition. Um, man, this was a really fun series yesterday as well. I thought it was a great showing by both teams, and it had a lot of interesting situations in the games where I'm just kind of shook at like what I'm watching happening. Um, but yeah, so it's gonna start off with this game one. This game one here. First off, Rusty taking Diana in this game. I love to see it because this champion is absolutely broken. If you have playing it, you should play it. It's not just a solo queue pick. It does 100% work. It's very strong. Um, and he had a good game on it. 10, 4, and 13. Always great. Another thing is, don't give Nexus Pike, bro. Like early game, he was popping off. Great plays. Him and Tanglefish were looking great in the bot lane. Unfortunately, they weren't able to get the win, but that's because Pike is going to fall off if you don't end the game at a certain point. And then York versus Ornn. Ornn's good for a bit, but then Ornn's useless against York's slow push, and that was pretty impactful. Pretty impactful. Um, but yeah, this game one, the Coalition had a lead early, kind of popping off. Like I said, in the bot lane, Mr. Bufa, I believe he even gets a solo kill himself early on. Lead on this Rek'Sai was able to generate a lead for himself as well. So everything was kind of going good. I think the main bright spot at the time was I thought Bananasaur was playing pretty well into Sam Lad on this Victor. Um, Victor doesn't seem to be like in the worst spot, and I do think if you don't have a lot of ways to get it on him, it's easier for him to play. But they technically did. I mean, they got Rek'Sai, they got Orange, so they have the engage tools. But the one thing that I really think changed the complexity of this game in the end was Zillion. Because every time you think you're going to kill somebody, here comes the Chrono Shift. And Calico is one of those Zillion players in the league that is extremely good. We all know that's like one of their main picks. Uh, and kind of got showcased here. It struggled early, but it was fantastic late. So, what do you kind of got for this game, buddy?
Um, I caught more of game two. I'm sorry, game three. Um, so I looked at the draft a little bit, and I actually talked to some of the Scorch uh, folks about it. But I'm kind of with you on Victor. I think Victor's kind of a forgotten champion where I don't. He's not. He's not great, but he's just good. To me, he's more of a. He's like in that Oriana class where he just really struggles at tank busting. But if you have a champion that can do that in the game, a la like a Jinx or some type of hyperscaler, then I think Victor has his moments where he can lane bully out some people. And Banana's always been great at Victor. I've been on the receiving end of it myself. Um, I think this actually looked like Scorch. Like this was a typical like Scorch game. They got very creative with the draft. They brought out picks that they're comfortable on, but most importantly, you're not going to see York that much. You're not going to see Zillion support. You may not even see Victor that often here, but the team knows how to play with these picks better than most. So their drafts is what makes them super hard. And I think the Mapago squad and Nexus and his boys, they just didn't get ahead enough here.
Yeah, I mean, kind of true and kind of not true. I thought they were ahead enough to win the game. I think the problem was it took some unfavorable fights in the mid game, and because they did that, it cost them the lead they had at the time and allowed Scorch to claw their way back. Because like the lead was pretty substantial at one point. Like, I don't know it off the exact top of my head, but I want to say about 3 or 4K. Like it was a real gold lead. I think game three was bigger, but like it was a real gold lead. It wasn't fake. And I want to say they even had a Drake lead.
Yeah, I think Scorch has some tools to kind of play the game on their own terms. Um, they have the engage, but they also have reactionary tools to the other engages as well. You mentioned the Zillion. I think Zillion played a humongous factor in this draft, and not banning it when you're running Pike and Rek'Sai, I think is they might want that one back. Looking at this
Yeah, I think that's
Vandal
very
pipes
true.
as
Especially
well.
because
I'm
like
looking at the builds now.
Rek'Sai's ult is all about executing people, and Pike obviously is the same, and the reset. So I guess that is a very good point that if you're going to be playing into a comp, getting rid of something that can stop your resets or your main executions by just a click of the button is probably not a bad idea to delete from the game.
Yeah, I mean, Rek'Sai's whole goal is to catch people off guard and then execute them when they try to escape. And then she's in a favorable fight number wise in the back line causing chaos. If you just ult into a back line trying to execute somebody and Zillion's there, you just completely deleted this whole champion from like doing anything
Yeah.
in that regard. But I'm kind of skimming through this game. It definitely looked like it was a brawl here. Um, and Scorch fighting back.
Yeah,
I'm
no,
looking at here
Scorch
around the 26-minute mark.
Scorch definitely was always fighting back. They never let the Goldie get out of hand like to the 8K or anything like that. Um, and that was like I think the biggest deal. But yeah, it peaked around 3 or 4K at some point in the game. I don't remember when. Um, but they never could get anything bigger. And then from there, once Scorch got back into the game, it was all coming down to who's gonna make the right play at when and where. And in the end, obviously, it's gonna be Scorch for this game one.
Yeah, I didn't catch that much. Me and the wife had some dinner plans this night, so did
Understandable.
not. I'm looking at game two. If we're if we're good to move on.
Yeah, I'm just gonna show the end of the game because I honestly couldn't even remember,
Oh,
man. It's like so many games I casted this week. Let's see. Hold on. Let me do the math. Two, three, 8 games this week. Plus, I played in 2 of them. So I guess I was a part of 10 games. It's a lot to have in the memory
there you go.
bank.
Starting off the season strong.
Yep, very strong. Yeah, they get a pick on Yorick at like the 30, almost 32 minute mark, but it just doesn't matter. And then Rusty just finds a beautiful play there, around 31 minutes and like 40 seconds. Yeah, he ends up falling, but they're able to break open the base, and you're trying to stop Victor Ash with a zillion. Good luck. And then Yorick to TP in if needed here in about 15 seconds. That's a hard ask. And being down 3 inhibitors with Baron. Which does nothing. Witchcrafter had some really clutch Ash arrows as the game progressed too. So I would definitely want to call him out for the way he played in this game too. I mean game one, but his name will get called more in game three. But yeah, we can move on to game two now.
Yeah.
So game two was the lead show, man. On this Lee Sin made me proud as a Lee Sin main of many years. Excellent, excellent gameplay out of him. Another thing is Tangofish and Nexus. Woo! They took game one and said we got to do better, and they did just that. Calico and the Witchcrafter never stood a chance against them. And then Oriana, once again, just every time I see the champ, she looks extremely strong. Whether or not she's winning is two separate things, but she does seem like she's nearing OP status, in my opinion. Not there, but close enough, which is really scary for competitive if she's like that strong, because we know her game playing tools. But since you said you watched a little bit of this game, Silty, I'll let you talk about it a little bit.
Uh, I mean, you kind of brought up what stood out was lead on this Lee Sin. It's not a pick that we've even Lee Sin players have as like yourself has not really found the opportunities to pull out. He's just not been in a consistent spot, but he man, he showed out on this. Oh my lord! I actually just rewatched that 2v2 there at around 7.5 minutes, where he kind of styled on them. But I think his tempo here through the early game was really what got the Mapago team going here. He's got a really stable top laner in Mr. Bufa, also playing the Malphite in a fairly favorable matchup for Malphite. And Nexus is allowed to just be himself on the map with an Ezreal bot lane. So this to me was like a tried and true, like a Mapago type of comp and type of game. Like Scorch played their game here, and it showed.
Yeah, no,
So what's your
100%. Mepago like just with like you said the tempo setting from lead and obviously him styling in the game was a big deal. Like you don't see Lee Sin get to pop off a lot, and I talked about it um in the going into this game. I said like it's a soft counter. Poppy is like it's not really meaningful. I'm not saying like Rusty picking it's bad or anything. But if you really want to counter Lee Sin, there's far better champions to pick to counter him that I think would even be more useful than Poppy in this specific game. Overall, though, Poppy's fine. I'm not. I don't hate the pick. The Talia as well is kind of the same way. It's a soft counter. It doesn't really mean too much. You can play around it. So I thought once he got that lead, and once Ezreal got that lead, the game was going to be difficult. And I really thought game one was going to be their win, right? So in this game, I'm like kind of watching, like, oh, maybe there's a comeback potential, because there was some trading happening here. There was getting some shutdowns onto this Poppy, but the Poppy wouldn't take. Like the Poppy didn't have uh, any any damage really, which was really interesting to me because I think if maybe he goes like Sundered Sky with all the kills he's getting, maybe that can turn the game. But the decision to go, this really weird Iceborne build into what is an Ezreal Lee Sin, I just, I don't know. I do have to say that he might have lost a shopkeeper. Uh,
Yeah, I mean I haven't seen Poppy Jungle in quite a while, so I don't know exactly what it is, but it definitely he couldn't match Leeds tempo in this game with that kind of build as you mentioned. So I do agree. I would have liked to seen him go a different direction than just straight tank. I think it could have been like a Sundered Sky, more of a skirmishing style on the Poppy build. So
yeah, no, 100%. Um, yeah, it was just something that stuck out to me. Nothing horrible though. Like it can work still. Obviously, you can go tanky. I just think if you're getting the gold, you definitely got to utilize it. Our prize mentioned on stream as well. Or not our prize. This was War, I think. Yeah, it was War this time. No, this was our prize. Bro, I don't even know. No, this was War, bro. My brain is shot. This was the War series.
it's yeah. I think we're both slowly hitting the wall here tonight.
No, I'm not even hitting the wall. I casted with everybody this week.
It's true.
So, um, considering what kind of transpired in this game, though, uh, they weren't really given an opportunity to come back. I mean, there were like small windows where it looked like okay, maybe they're finding their way. But Malphite found some really nasty engages towards that like mid late game with the team fighting, and that just was like not allowing them to get back in. And then Tango Fish pretty much was unkillable at a certain point. Like he did overstep a couple times. There was a couple plays where it was like, oh wait, Tango Fish is dead. Shouldn't have done that. Maybe they could do something, but it just never came to fruition.
Yeah, 100% with agreement there.
Yeah, they get Baron and they pretty much just walk under their base. There's not much they can do to stop them. Um, all Malphite has to do is find a good spot, pull the trigger, and then you're just looking at gray screen. To which, of course, Mr. Buffa is gonna find that, and that's just how the cookie crumbles sometimes.
Okay, I see you there. Now, I did catch all of Game 3. I might not be as quiet for that one. So I do have some feelings about this game.
Okay,
Uh,
well then let's jump into game
so
three. So I will
all
tell
right.
you what I thought of this draft a little bit, guys. Well, I think Kane OP. And that's it. No,
Huh?
actually, no. Kane was actually OP in this game. Nah, I know what you're thinking. Well, how about the Lux? No, the Lux was OP too, but I think the Lux was OP because the Kane was OP. because Kane just would not die. This guy was unkillable, bro. He died 9 times, but it felt like he never died 9 times. It doesn't make sense. Uh, the draft, and I talked to Scorch, and they still feel that I'm wrong on this, but I know I'm right. Janna synergizes the best with 3 AD champs in the game. It's just actual facts of how this champion works. She's the strongest with 3 AD champions. She wants to generally, like when I say generally, she just literally wants to have an AD carry in the bot lane. She makes the AD carry stronger. She's really not buffing the Lux. I guess her autos hurt slightly more, but like, bro, you know? So I don't like Janna. I will never like Janna here. I don't care if they won the game. It wasn't because Janna's existence. It was because Ares not dying on Kane, Rusty's subjugate just killing people because it made Mr. Buffa and Led and or Nexus, though Nexus honestly wasn't even that tanky, just not tanky at all. And Lux just one-shotting people by like 25 minutes into the game. Maybe even earlier than that. It was nuts. Go ahead.
Um, no, my reaction was because I'm in full agreement. I don't think Kane overall as a champion is in like the worst spot. Excuse me, that he's ever been in. But I do think Kane this game was an absolute monster. The Janna, I'm in agreement. I'm not a big fan of Janna here, but I don't really care what support you throw there. Like the 4 men from Scorch is plenty enough. But Rusty, I think, had a really great angle to bring out the Trundle, played magnificent on it. Bananasaur had himself a really solid Anivia game. Please don't ever take Arcane Common again. But overall, I thought he played it well, and I also thought like just Anivia into, if I remember correctly, it was either a B1 or B2 Scion. I always love that just because Scion really, I'm sorry, that was a B5 Scion with the Anivia showing. So he clearly didn't either respect the walls or just wanted to put a big meat tank in front of Smolder. I can respect it, but typically if I see a Scion, I'm building up the Great Wall of China, and you're never going to be able to ult there. So my whole thing that like threw me off, and I thought both teams played well and had moments where they were just going back and forth here. Uh, I'm I'm no by no means an 80 carry expert, but I'm pretty sure Smolder's builds now are primarily crit. Not having IE this game made it felt like impossible to break Scorch's comp.
Yeah, I think that was actually a really big miss. I will definitely not
I
disagree with you.
Yeah.
Uh, I we War talked about it on stream a little bit, I believe, and then I know I mentioned it maybe once or twice. It was definitely one of those really confusing things. You might even mention in the chat too. I I I don't know what was going on with Mr. Tangofish, and Tango pops off all the time. Guy's great to watch, but then he has his moments of like you question it because he likes to jump into the whole team to enter for some reason. The classic quirky W from him. But this time was the I'm gonna build this Smolder build and make you question everything because you gotta believe if he goes the right Smolder build that maybe this game actually can just end. Maybe because there was a significant lead this game. This was a bigger lead than game one. In terms of like the comeback from Scorch. Um, and I was doubting it for a bit that it was even possible. Because I
Yeah.
go,
That's
how do you kill Mundo Scion? And I found out apparently you can kill Mundo Scion because Lux Laser is just disgusting. Like I think Mundo was like 50% HP or 45% HP and just got one tap by laser, and I go, huh? And this is like late game, obviously, and I'm still like, huh? Like where the pros health bar go?
Yeah, I mean their team fighting this whole game 3 by Scorch, they put on a master class to me, in my opinion, of team fighting, especially out of just starting the season week one, because Rusty would call out subjugates. They would end up focus firing either the Scion or the Mundo, whoever he would subjugate, and then Kane is just making a menace by just teeter tottering his limits in the back line to keep all the pressure there. Um, no, this was a classic Scorch game. Also, I didn't point this out when we were talking shopkeepers. I think the double Knights Vow was kind of a losing the shopkeeper moment there. Um, Ari does just not put out enough damage to warrant having a Knight's Vow on her. So I would have liked to seen anything else. I mean, you could have made an argument for like Redemption Scion, or something in that regard. There, it's yeah, some of the shopkeeper moments for Mapago was definitely quite interesting,
Honestly,
to say the
I didn't
least.
see it. I mean, I can check on the screen here. Did Cyan? Why doesn't Cyan just build Titanic Hydra here? Like honestly, like I gotta believe like extra damage would have made a difference in a couple of these fights because he was able to hit more front line and even he was hitting Kane more than probably some of his members. Especially like, Ari wasn't touching Kane a lot. It was usually Tango Fish. I gotta believe like just more damage would have been something. Like, he's already got enough HP. He's already tanky
Uh,
enough. Uh,
yeah.
I mean, like
Is there is there just thinking out loud, is there diminishing uses for double locket? Does it have like diminishing returns like heal does?
I think so. I don't think you're supposed to stack it.
Okay.
I don't recall it being a good stack item. um,
Um,
I mean, honestly, like I don't agree with really ever stacking any items. Like if someone's got Knight's Vow, then you buy something else. Like you said, you buy a Redemption, you buy a Locker, you buy, find another item to purchase. I don't think you need to ever stack two of the same item. Like that, utility wise. You can stack like two Black Cleavers in a game, I guess, because maybe you're the top laner, you're only fighting against the Malphite, and you're playing, I don't know, Gnar. And you're trying to play the split game or something, and then maybe like you're playing Lee Sin and you're team fighting with your team, and they've got another champion that you want to break armor or whatever. Like you could do stuff like that, but I don't think in utility items like that makes any sense.
yeah, not actually. Knight's Vow should have been Force of Nature here, because it almost instantly gets procced with a Nivea, and that's an extra 70 armor, which low key kind of negates a little bit of Void.
Yeah,
Um, Depending how you look at the math, I mean, it does make Void more valuable, but it's still just blanket 70 MR within like 2 seconds.
yeah.
So
I mean, they were at
it's
28
just
minutes.
anything else.
28 minutes they break this inhibitor, right? Like you're in a great spot. You have I feel like you have the game in your hands. You don't got to do too much to win this game now. And I still am completely bamboozled how they don't pull this off. I really am. Like the Anivius 1, 5, and 4. Like I just I have no words. One day we'll know. Nexus will come in and tell us what happened. I it is a very interesting situation. And again, we go back to the items because maybe the items are just the difference maker. Because I mean, couldn't you argue fourth item for or fifth item for Cyan? It's like just go straight into that Titanic, like I said. Like you have tank stats, you have two armor items and a Rukern, and you really don't want more tank stats because there's a Trundle anyways. Just go by HP and damage. Like I just I don't
Mm.
know. It's gonna bother me. It's gonna bother me a lot because I didn't realize it
I'm
was Blank
I'm
Star.
not the smolder itemization is something where I'm more, if I can use the word, like triggered by, but I'm also like understand I don't play the role, and I don't know the ins and outs of smolder that well. I would at least like maybe I'm missing something, or I'm just stupid, which is probably the more likely possibility. But I just
Well, maybe
I
maybe he wanted
see
to
I
build
see the
HP. Like he wanted to build some HP because it'd be against Lux. But like
I don't know why you don't go full crit, full damage, and just full send it when you have a Scion Mundo Rel you're hiding behind. Like
Yeah,
the game is 100% on your shoulders. You have to build the stat that was designed to break tanks because there's nowhere in Scorch's build on Trundle Kane where they can fit a Randuin's in there. Like if they do, they're diminishing on the offensive items that they're building, which is perfectly fine. Like, what are they going to get rid of? Endless Hunger? No, that's so good on Kane specifically, but Trundle's very good on as well. Like, just force them to itemize against you, not the other way around.
yeah,
He doesn't have even a pen item in his build. Like, there's no Shirelia's, not is that it? The one that slows. Um, there's no LDR. There's no Mortal Reminder. There's just nothing in there. He's not going up against the most amount of armor, but LDR at least has the Giant Slayer passive back on it.
yeah. I'm trying
So
to go back a little bit because we have this soul, and I think the big thing here it starts with just the witchcrafter pulling off a nice sick Q on Ari who's trying to dash in. And it's like 33 and a half minutes. That's where it starts. Then you got Ares just doing Ares thing again, just being an absolute nuisance, healing all the way up back to full HP. They were able to chop down the Mundo, and you know you can try to run for your life, but it's probably not going to work. Danglefish type thing. You're dead. Good night. Yeah, that's just that play right there. When the game looked to be on a knife's edge, like okay, maybe they can still win. Maybe they can complete the victory, even though they've kind of given up some of that gold. That was it. And from that point on, after they got sold, they just never looked back. They got a Baron or two, and they were able to win the game. But I really like Witchcrafter. We did highlight Ares on this Kane, and I think he deserves it because that was ridiculous. But without this Lux, you're definitely not winning this game. And I still am so impressed how in the world this Lux was like one-shotting, like basically one-shotting Mundo. That's basically what I was watching. It never made sense to me, bro.
called Trundle.
The Patronal ulti wasn't always on him when he got killed.
It's
So, but all in all, great win by Scorch. This week seems to have a lot of comebacks. We had Insane Banana Posse coming back, and then we have Scorch doing the same in 2 games to get the victories. So we'll go ahead and we'll jump into the last series of the week, guys, which is the one we just casted. So some of you guys might be well aware of what went down. So CLT, do you wanna dive in and right into it? I'll let you take over game one.
yeah. This was I honestly this was I was excited for the whole week, but this one I was super excited to see the returning Femboys lineup minus Binky, but they did bring in the regular season MVP and sorry, not last year, but 2 splits ago, and Rurika, who is a very talented mid laner as well. And I was very happy to finally get to watch Incarnate because I know they are a very, very talented team as well. So this game one uh, was kind of an ode to just femboys. They got a lot of leads early and quite heavily into the solo laners, and it really started to snowball off of that. Once the first few minutes went really well, had a couple solo kills. Rurika gets one onto Lysander and the Jace. Wangrod, formerly known as Noah, did a pretty good job with the set. It's our second time we've seen set this week one, but the biggest recipient after all of this early game pressure ended up becoming Inferno. He just played this Mundo, and Mundo goes where he pleases.
Yeah, this was a great
So
moment of the game. I thought Erika kind of showcasing once again why Oriana just seems to feel to me like I said, she feels almost broken to me. She's gotta be S tier now. I don't see how she couldn't be. That's how she looks from watching her. So she's definitely up there as one of the stronger champions of the game in the mid lane. And she was up against AD pick. I think I mentioned AD pick's not feeling like great to me. Maybe today during the cast, maybe during the show. I don't remember. But they feel like AD picks mid are much further down the line on where you want to pick them. Like they feel like number 20 on the board. There's 19 other picks. You pick those before you take that in your draft. Um, Jace just seems to be mostly a jungle pick nowadays or a top pick. Well, I guess he's always been a top pick, but like he doesn't feel like a mid pick at all. Like you're playing him jungle or you're playing him top lane. I don't think he belongs in the mid lane at the moment.
I don't disagree. If you can pull him off, I think it's fine. Like this is a draft where I look at Jason, I'm like, okay, like I can see it if your team is comfortable playing this kind of draft. This is a very hard to execute draft. I think the thing in this draft that kind of stood out was the Trundle. I understand that it is a very, very great answer into the Mundo, but I I just feel like you want something there to kind of help with the zone control a little bit, because even if you subjugate the Mundo, like Jason and Ziggs are still gonna have a hard time like chopping down that super tank.
Yeah, this would have been a great opportunity for an AP jungler, to be honest. I mean, you have AD mid, AD top, so now you're in triple AD, which is never like you never want triple AD or AD AP for your top side. Like it's never something you want. You want mixed damage between the three champs somewhere in there. Um, so I do think that would have been like, I mean, even like a Diana pick might honestly not been that bad. Um, but there's
I
some,
was thinking of Silas actually.
you know what, Silas Jungle could certainly work here. It's gonna be good. The Orialty is crazy. Pop Blossoms go crazy. The Mundo alt is very useful. Um, but but who are we to say? Incarnate,
Yeah, it's such a niche pick.
yeah,
So
it's like I don't know. But I'm impressed Trundle's getting this first play early on in the league. I think me and Russ were talking about how we didn't think it was going to be very favorable, and yeah, that's not the case. Yo, what is up? Why is it so blurry on the screen, man? Oh, there it goes. It was like super blurry. For some reason, it was like in 480. Like, I don't know why. But anyways, um, from we just coming fresh off this series, what like do you think, looking back, was really what broke this game for Femboys?
um the Mundo getting ahead obviously was was what got the momentum in Finboy's favor, but then I felt like it was very difficult once they started securing vision and the Oriana got rolling, the set was putting pressure in the side lanes. It was very hard for the Incarnate's team comp to really like um walk in the fog of war. I do think Spirit Tracks had a really nice build going with the Horizon Focus second, so that does help with the vision. But there's not as much threatening on the setup or the follow up if you go with like Leona ult um, or Mbessa ult. Well, Mbessa really he had to deal with the set, so the Mbessa ult setup was not the greatest. But when Leona can't really get proactive, which is something Leona wants to do and kind of has to do. She's not great at being reactionary. So it was just a combination of that comp got ahead, and then the poke comp could really not answer. They did well, like trying to stall out the game. Ziggs does have a lot of innate wave clear, but it's just hard to play that kind of comp when behind.
Yeah, I think for me, like just straight up, it was from pretty much the go because Eureka and Wengrad both got like solo kills early on, and then the Mundo we talked about. I think he was like 3-0 or something at like 5 minutes in the game. The dude went on like a around the world trip. He ganked bot lane, got kills,
Yeah.
ganked mid lane, got kills. Walked in the jungle, slapped the trundle, and then went topside and like was trying to look for a gank too, but like there wasn't anything there. But he was up there, ready to make a play, and he still hadn't reset. He just was so strong. He had a really early hard steal buy, and I mean after that, it just seemed like the game was really never in Incarnate's hands. It was all about can Femboys close it out, which uh, they were able to do so pretty well without much of an issue. So when looking back at this first game one, like I said, the biggest highlights were just Inferno on Mundo and Rurika popping off with his Ori, while Wayne Grad was just doing set things. Angel Boy, honestly, Nash just did not look very strong early in this series, and I think game two and three are going to highlight that more. But even this game one, like they were not really performing as well, and I'm sure there's some factors in there like Ash is coming back. I know he's been out of the league now for well, I think over a year now, and he is a previous champion. He has won, so um, he's got it in his blood. But they're probably working out some of the kinks
Yeah.
down there. So,
Yeah, there was definitely signs of rust from a few of the players, especially after this game.
yeah. But yeah, we'll go ahead and jump into game two, which I think we already know what game two is about. I, I don't think it
Well,
was I
the,
don't think it was about the 21 and 30 bot lane of Incarnate. I think it was really about Jacob and this 1 to 11 pop off, go ham, Scion, right? That dude was the GOAT up there. No, but I don't realize it was just the bot lane. I think Wintech looks great too, and Lysander played much better throughout that mid late game. But Rico was putting in work on his ASOL early as well. Like there was a time where I thought this game just might be GG, and we're looking at a 2-0, but it didn't happen. That was not the story. What was the story, CLD?
the story was the solo laners for Femboys versus the bot lane of Incarnate, and as hinted at, the bot lane won. The the protection and the play overall from Spirit Tracks and Angel Boy, I'm sorry, Spirit Tracks and Bard BQ was was just crazy. They won 2v2 duels early and just continued to snowball their lead. I think caught himself another 2v2 duel after that, and then it just again they just poured all of their resources in protecting Spirit Tracks, and they just said, "Hey, you go carry the game. We got your back." And even though Rurika had himself a really solid game on this ASOL, Wangrad did pretty well on his Cassante. That just there was not enough access to the backline for Femboys to get to this Jinx. The very last fight, or is the next to last fight, where they caught the Jinx out, there was a key Thresh Lantern to get Spirit Tracks out of harm's way, and then he just started to play Arcane on them.
Yeah, I think I'll show the clip real quick because there's a lot of highlights in this game. Oh, I'm gonna find that clip because that was definitely the angle. Was it before Elder or before Soul?
Ooh, good question.
Ah, I found it. It was 22
I think
minutes.
it was, yeah. Is that the Elder Drake fight
No,
or
that's
not?
Soul
No,
fight.
that's for the soul. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that was their
Sorry.
best opportunity too. Like it looked good. If they kill this Jinx, there's a chance that they certainly win this fight. Jacob is kind of caught out too. Like he's in a horrible location, where he'll probably just get shredded. But instead, Jinx lives, and it just a disaster after that. Um, they don't end on this push. I do think something that I liked seeing from Incarnate in this series was like they were very patient of understanding when they can and can't
Yep.
end. Um, I did kind of feel like it was an end angle for them, but they realized it wasn't. They're like, no, 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 we gotta reset. We gotta go collect our gold, get our soul. I think they made really smart plays there. But there was a ton of highlight clips spot. I mean, I could easily go over them with you guys if I wanted to all day. We'd have a fun time because Spirit Tracks was just going off, and it's Bard BQ is the Thresh. He had streamer mode on.
Yes.
Thank you for changing that so we could actually call you out for how great you were playing and actually put your name out there because you had a fantastic series. Um, but yeah, it was absolutely nuts. I think this game too is one of the most fun games to watch from a bot lane perspective. Um, like if you're an AD carry player or a support player. Uh, and another thing is Wintek's got it in him, man. I think he's kind of him when it comes to jungling. Like he's not afraid to just get in there and make plays. Very impressive, very aggressive. Knows where to be and how to be. So I'm always very impressed with good jungle play. There's a lot of good competition in the jungle this split. No marks on Inferno because he's a very good player as well. But
Well, now
yeah, what's up?
we can't talk. If you want to talk about who's him, bro, Jacob.
Oh my god.
Is bro. I'm on the hype train. Yep, number one cheerleader right here after week one.
he
Way too
gets
early prediction.
he's cheerleading on him after he gets busted in game one on best. So I'm just pointing that out, man.
Bro, he played everything about as good as you could. It just
But it
you
wasn't
know.
good enough because he was dead. He got gray screened. He was dead. I'm not a Jacob hater, but I'm just gonna say what it is, man.
Nah,
Uh,
I give the man his props, man. He fucking he was him this
he's
game too,
Silty.
and he was definitely him in game three.
He's dropping the f
Cause like
bombs. He's serious about this shit.
yes, yeah. I'd lead the Jacob fam club after week one. I'm in the clubhouse. I'm,
Alright. Yeah, man.
yeah,
It was a good game too. I wish there was more to talk about this game, but it's just like there you could go in depth and break it down, but like just go watch the first 10 minutes of like bot
I
lane.
don't have all night because I won't shut up.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. So we are gonna move on to the fast game, and that's game three. And the Momo shows up once again. I think he won a decent amount of matches. In fact, let me check this out real quick. Yeah, I'm gonna bring this up on the screen because I actually want to know how many he won. Where's he at?
Ooh.
He only won two out of three, but I'm impressed with that because I didn't think he should win any.
Really?
Yeah, well the war one
I
was
th-
just absolutely insane, and then you had this one.
well, that's because Ward didn't win the game. He tried his best to lose it. Sorry, love you, Ward.
You're giving him so much firepower, bro. He's like, I want this guy one day so bad. Okay, so
I'm getting
anyways,
tagged.
yeah, dude, you're gonna get tagged.
Yep,
Um, talk about
that's
the
all
game
love
three,
though.
buddy. Stop it. All right.
Oh, okay. Well, you was looking up stat. Okay, game three. Um, I thought it was a pretty stable draft from Incarnate. I thought the draft from Femboys was actually like fairly creative. Uh, a lot of players picked champions that they are very confident in playing. We've seen them be successful on even in the server and in previous splits of this league. You've got Angel Boy, aka Mac, on his Kaisa, Rurika on the Aatrox. Noah's busted out the Aatrox every now and then. Sorry, Rurika on the Yone. So I thought this was going to be a really good, solid game for Femboys. They were allowed to just play the game their way, but not Incarnate wasn't playing around, and even though First Blood went to uh, Wangrod, sorry, on there, Jacob just decided to TP back, said you're gonna push this lane, and I'm just gonna murder you, and did it. So got one back there. But to me, the key of this game was Lysander. I think had a welcome to the league moment on this Azir. This was I've seen Rurika run this lane over before, and even though he didn't have the greatest game, probably dating back to my comment about some rust here, Lysander played this Azir really really well. Um,
I agree. I agree on that
it,
wholeheartedly. There were some really nice shuffles he had, and the thing is, this kind of goes back to my point. I mean, yes, the Azir got some gold early, which helped, but I'm still feeling the same vibe here. I just don't like the 80 mids because you see it again and it's losing. This season had started off. The first thing I remember about this season, how it started, and this is, I think, the biggest point about AP. Everybody was talking about how broken AP was. I mean, that's what they were saying. Like the AP junglers are so busted because the item gives the on hit, right? So like Diana was good or this champion was good. Tom Kench top lane is good because of it, right? Um, And then there's a few other items that exist. I don't know all the AP items, guys. I'm sorry, I don't play mid lane. I'll learn them as the split progresses. But I just know that everyone is saying how strong they are. And so seeing AD picks happen in the mid lane, if it's not an assassin, which I think assassin items are strong. Yone's not an assassin, not a true assassin. You can kind of call him one, but he's not a true assassin. He doesn't build assassin items. And Jace technically does, but he doesn't play like a true assassin. He's not Zed. He's not Talon. You know, I I'm not I'm not loving him. So get that stuff out of here. Let's get to the real picks. Let's get to the manly picks. All right. And I think that was the biggest thing. Kizione wasn't even bad or anything. It's champ div, and there were some nice dodges by Lysander too on the seal fate that kind of helped out. Just kind of got the moves.
I don't. I I don't disagree, but I think it's got to be a little more contextualized. Like I think AD mids have their spot, and I think after the buffs, Yone, if you play him at a really good level, he's good in the right hands. Um, but I generally do agree. I think AD picks are just they're you're adding difficulty to your game that sometimes isn't needed. Um,
Right.
I didn't mind it in this spot because the Talia jungle again got off the ground and was putting in a lot of work, and I honestly like the zone control that she could offer, but there was nobody to just absorb the Amumu ganks, and they centered in on the keeping this Yone down. The lane, not the lane, the minion control in the lane states that they kept forcing Rurika to play in were really key because he had to go so deep into the incarnate side of the map just to pick up a wave that he just kept getting picked off and soloed out in a lot of these fights.
Yeah. Yeah. Very very true. Um, Other than that, I mean, when you're fully looking at this game, you know, I will say Karma actually did was actually a decent pick here, as well. Like the shields were really nice, because they didn't have enough gold. You can't break through the shields quick enough. You get a nice front line, locking up champions like uh, Kaisa and Aatrox could be very easy here. Don't let them dash around, make plays. So there was it just was a really nice draft, I think, by Incarnate, and they played it well. Um, I think Femboys had to play it extremely good throughout the entire game to even have a chance at winning. Um, and there was just break points where that just didn't happen, unfortunately.
Agreed.
Um,
Yeah.
with that being said, well, I will show you guys. I'm gonna show you guys this clip because this clip is really funny. I'm showing the one where Weighing Rod is like being chased around the map. That's so stupid.
What on the Aatrox?
Yeah, like you just couldn't kill this guy. You're trying to
Yeah.
stop him while Caitlyn's like split pushing to get the turret, pushing mid down, and stopping his reset so she can do that. And then you're just like watching them like struggle to kill this guy. The crazy part is there's a world where he could just 1v3, man.
Yeah.
He almost killed Dior, if he gets that Q off and maybe gets a little more healing, he might just kill everybody. And then all of a sudden we're talking about a whole different game, because that really would have like broke the game. Baron was up. Instead, they finally kill the Aatrox, and his timer is so bad now because it took them forever to kill him that they can play Baron and they don't have to really worry about much going on because of it. But it was a ridiculous clip. So, I think that's pretty much it, guys. I think I feel pretty good about covering the games. We'll do the last segment of the show. I'm gonna power through it. We're gonna get through it, guys, and then we're gonna get on out of here. Pretty good episode. Hour 50 minutes in here. So yeah, let's do that real quick. So power rankings. Oh, and feel free to come check out the stats, guys. We have player stats. We have champ stats. all up here. In fact, I'll just go through the whole thing. If you guys don't know and you're not a captain, you have the rosters here. You can see all the rosters. Got our schedules here. I kind of showed at the beginning of the game. There you go. It's a whole week of schedules. You can see your home games. Playoffs doesn't have anything yet because we don't have playoffs set up. Here's your standings. Check those out. And then we got player stats. This guy's got a million calculators. All right, good job, buddy. Got to get them all up there. So there's all the stats for all the players that have been playing. And then, like I said, we have champ stats. We have win rate, pick rate, you can name it. We even have a power picks thing we created about a year ago, um, which is pretty cool. And then you can check out the champions, kills, deaths, assists, and the average per game, and all that good stuff. So feel free to give it a check out. But with that said, these are actually going to always be up, so you'll be able to check out my power rankings at any time. If you're new to the show, I've been doing this now for about a year. So power rankings is something people like. I don't do these because I think teams are bad or good. It's really not about that. So if you're low ranked, you're high ranked. It's not just like, okay, you're just the greatest ever or you're just the worst ever. That's not what this is. But at the end of the day, someone has to be last and someone has to be first, and there has to be people in the middle. But we just do this for fun. Okay, that's all this is about. And I know a lot of people like to mess around and be like, "Hey, we're gonna prove me wrong about the ranking." Feel free to do so. I love that. And CLT doesn't always agree with my takes, and I think today is gonna be one of those days. So I'm gonna go ahead and start her off with the first, well, not the first three teams, but the last three teams here. Coming in at number 10 is going to be Notorious Thieving Raccoons. Staney, I love you, my brother. I think the thing about our series and compared to all the other series is they were relatively close across the board. Unfortunately, you guys had the hardest time kind of uh, keeping the goal relatively close throughout the two games, and I think that does matter. Um, so they were probably the biggest win or loot the biggest losses I should say, and so that's why I'm gonna put you guys down here at number 10. But I do believe that you guys can rise in these power rankings because I believe in you and I believe in your team. So I'm gonna be rooting for you guys all the way. You guys aren't playing us for the rest of the split. That's great. I don't have to ever root against you. You're my boy. Um, I don't think you have anything on these three, do you?
No,
Okay.
no. I
Uh,
think yeah.
I think like the competition is so stiff, the split, so it's really hard with always giving power rankings, but it's even harder now. But yeah, Vancouver Impact Challengers coming in at the number 9 spot. I think they had a really decent week in their first week. Um, it was a crazy, crazy series against Insane Banana Posse. I think the reason why you're 9 and not maybe a little higher is because that throw you had game 2, especially after watching a little bit of the game, that can't happen, guys. I've seen you guys play. I know what you're capable of. Last split, you guys were amazing to watch. I do believe you're going to get back on track, and it was just one of those weeks. You guys are the most up and down all the time. It feels like you're one of those teams. Like you and Scorch always seem to be like high highs and low lows. So I know you guys will get back on track. And then Mapoko Coalition. Uh, this is where it was hard to rank. It started getting hard to rank. I didn't really know where I wanted to put you guys, but I think number 8 for now is relatively fair. I think. I mean, you guys went to 3, which matters. Um, but just yeah, I don't really know.
It's week one.
It's week 1 and it's hard, man. It's really hard. I think on any given Sunday you guys can beat Scorch though. But I also think on any given Sunday, from what I've seen, they can beat you guys, which was what happened. So, um, let's go ahead and jump into the next teams. All right, so we got the next 4 teams here before I reveal the last 3. So yeah, Insane Banana Posse coming in at number 7. I thought that, like I said, their win over Maple Go Coalition, I'm sorry, Vancouver Impact Challengers, was crazy. Like that's got to be noted. I think you guys making the game harder on yourselves on purpose is impressive. So any win, this split is going to be impressive unless you guys random roll and get your rolls somehow. Um, one of your top winners playing bot lane and popping off on Olaf and Gwen AD carry is just the most ridiculous thing in the world. So you guys deserve tons of respect for that. But that does mean also at the same time it's like it's hard to rank you guys at times because what am I gonna get next week? What am I gonna get the week after? Because it's different. Like the roster's the same, but it's different roles. So, um, I know CLT is gonna have a problem with my next one, so I'm gonna talk about it and then let him kind of have his counterpoint. I'm gonna put Hidden Leaf here at number 6. I think even though they lost that series, when you watch that series against Mythos, like man, it's so close, and they talked about it on the show already. If you guys go back and do those plays all over again and just do them differently and win those plays, I think you win both those games. That's why I think that series, to me, against what I think is a very, very good team from what I've seen, would be insane for me to go, oh, you're just like, no, you guys are still it. And I'm going to be surprised if you guys don't just start picking up wins. Yeah, I'd be very, very surprised if you guys don't. So that's where I'm leaning. COT. So I know you had some stuff you disagreed with on that. I remember.
I just think I know it's week one, and I know this ends up like working itself out. But insane banana, I mean, you 2-0'd. I think I think having them this low is a touch disrespectful, but they have they have avenues of obviously moving their way up if they just keep winning games. They have a very competitive week 2 matchup that I think will tell them a lot, but they are also without a doubt going to be the most uh, annoying team to talk about, if I can say that with just nothing but love, just because they're role swapping every single game, every single series. So it's just you're never gonna know what you're gonna get. I feel like Insane Banana reminds me of the support that got out of the wild card of Worlds, where he literally said to the audience, he's like, "If we don't know what we're doing, how can our opponents know what we're doing?" And
True.
it's like that's Insane Banana in a nutshell. And I have nothing but love for War and Flame Dog and all those guys over there. Like they're homies for sure. But man, it's they 2-0'd. They did what they needed to do, and to be below um 0-1 teams that didn't win, especially a team that got 2-0'd. I think I do have a little bit of a problem with that, but again, it is week one, so it's here for discussion. I can respect that. But these five teams, femboys down the map ago, this is so jumbled up that you won't know what you get until they start playing each other.
Which is somewhat true, but you can always tell a little bit about what you've seen, and there's some past information on some of these teams, which gets me to my next two teams here, which is Scorch at number 5 and Femboys at 4. Femboys, simply put, just played a great match against Incarnate. Without question, Incarnate and Mythos are looking like top teams. So Femboys, to me, didn't deserve to lose a lot for that because of that. The other thing is they were the returning champs, so they're going to get a little more of a lift up there. Lastly, historically, they've been good in the Scorch. So I have enough information there of what I'm used to seeing. I'm expecting when these two teams play, I'm expecting when Femboys gets into a groove that they're going to be a team that's competing for the top of the bracket there. Um, that's just my vibe on those two teams, and that kind of leads me into the next team, which I'm gonna show two here, so now you guys know what number one is. Um, but yeah, so you have Small Brain No Mechanics and Stun Gaming Mythos. Small Brain at 3 and Gaming Mythos at 2. I think again historically Small Brains has been very good into Scorch. Eureka's historically been good into Small Brains, which is an interesting situation. But I do want to say I think um, we still have to give props where props is due. Small Brains had a great week one. It still should matter, but I wasn't sure how I wanted to place it. CLT convinced me to put us at 3, and I want to state that I actually was going to put us at 4 and put Femboys at 3. I just want the world to know, but I understand what he was going for here, and I get what he was saying. He doesn't feel comfortable putting a team that started off going 0-1 for the split that high, so that's why we kind of landed where we did. it's a very tight ranking though. Stun
I mean,
Gaming
small.
Mythos. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead. What do you say?
No, I mean, Small Brains did what they needed to do. They 2-0'd. I mean, yes, it was against the lowest team on this power rankings here, but they showed a lot of good things. They showed, like they were in form and that they looked the least week one out of the teams.
Yeah, and I respect
So
that take and why you would lead the way you were leading. And then you have Stun Gaming Mythos coming in at 2. Just simply put, the difference, why I'm ranking them like this as of right now, is Mythos beat the third place team last year, and as I reveal this, just to make it more intense, Incarnate played the champions. Incarnate beat the champions. You can say, well, Mythos 2-0 Hidden Leaf, but I still feel like that series was so much closer in comparison to Incarnate versus Femboys. Yes, Femboys won one of those games, but I think Incarnate kind of took care of business game 2 and game 3. Not to the extent that like they completely clapped them, but it wasn't as close as those two really crazy Hidden Leaf Mythos games. Um, that's kind of where I'm at right now. So Stun Gaming right now, they're on top of the world. You guys are, as of right now, running the
welcome to the
league.
league.
Yeah, welcome to the you're running the league. But I can tell you this one thing: my week one power rankings are never my week whatever end of the season power rankings, and I don't think I've ever had a team at number one to start the split stay at number one. So if I had to guess, Incarnate will not be number one when all said and done.
I
But
I,
I could be wrong. Just
I
because
think coin flip.
I cast I think coin flip. I can't was coin flip number one in the whole split? I don't think anybody was.
Coin flip when they went the perfect 5-0 10-0.
Oh yeah, you're right. Okay, I lied. I lied. No, I don't think they were. I don't think they were at the top to start the split though.
Oh,
I,
you're right.
yeah,
I think you're right. I think they got there week 2.
yeah, week two or week three. Yeah, yeah. But nonetheless, like I, I'm a jinx. That's all I'm saying. But thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoy the show. It was a decent episode, good 2 hour one. So I'm happy with that. We can go a little deeper when we have more time to talk about only 5 series. Um, Episodes will vary. If you are Sun Gaming specifically, you're pretty much the newest team. Tori's Raccoons, you are technically new as well because not all the members have played, I think, in the Midwest before, but Staney is somewhat familiar with the format. Um, so yeah, it could be an hour and a half episode next time. It could be an hour 15. Just depends. But yeah, thank you
How much I
guys.
talk.
Yep. Well, how many games are played too. So thank you all for watching. Uh, look forward to week 2. Me and CLT are going to be able to go to sleep and enjoy our Sundays, and that's all that matters. So we will see you guys on the next episode in probably a week. Now go to bed. I'm talking.
Deuces.
I'm talking to the person on the screen watching this. Go to sleep. GG's.